being shot and killed at an indoor gaming center. Atlanta police say a fight over a bowling ball escalated, then moved outside, and that's when shots were fired.
Unfortunately, this one's a little tragic. While Young Thug has 6 kids, she also has a few baby mamas. One of those women was LaKevia Jackson. Unfortunately, she lost her life about a week ago in what appears to have been a senseless situation. That being said, there could be some darker forces at play behind the scenes in the death of LaKevia Jackson. I'd like to start by offering my condolences to the family. May she rest in peace. So what really happened? Is there more to it than just a mere bowling incident? Keep watching to find out. LaKevia, like Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, is from Atlanta. Together, the couple had a baby who at the time of his mother's passing was only 14 years old. Even though they aren't still together, as the mother of one of his children, LaKevia was still an important fixture in Thug's life. On the night of Thursday, March 17th, LaKevia was attending a birthday party for one of her closest friends at the Metro Fun Station, a local bowling alley. The official story is that they were all bowling, having a good time, when an argument broke out. The argument was about a specific bowling ball, or the score, or something else as insignificant. Eventually, the argument got a little heated, and LaKevia did her best to flee the scene without incident. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and someone started popping off shots. Police arrived at the scene around 10:50 p.m., and shortly thereafter, LaKevia was pronounced dead. She was lying there in the parking lot with multiple wounds. Police have picked up one woman who was there that night for questioning, and they're asking any member of the public who might know anything to step forward. For now, the perpetrator of the mindless act is still on the loose. However, they did capture a male suspect on CCTV footage, but a positive identification is yet to be made. The homicide commander, Lieutenant Ralph Woolfolk, made a statement saying, "This is truly an atrocity. A young lady has lost her life over a bowling ball. We talk about conflict resolution time and time again, and this is an escalated dispute, so we'll work this case through the night and we'll find the person responsible. We know who you are, so go ahead and turn yourself in." A correspondent for the local news, Michael Seaton, did end up reaching out to Young Thug for a statement, but wasn't able to get one. He tweeted, "A spokesperson for Young Thug told me that Grammy Award-winning artist is focusing on grieving family and won't be releasing a statement at this time." It makes sense that he would want to talk about the whole thing at the moment. This has to be incredibly hard for him and the family. One person close to LaKevia did make a statement though, LaKevia's mother. Her mother, Sharina, said, "I didn't know that this was going to be the last time I talked to my baby. I could hear her over the phone crying and screaming, then her best friend says she's not breathing." She also corresponded with a reporter who let her know exactly how things went down and provided a picture. Tori Cooper made a tweet about her correspondence saying, "I just spoke to LaKevia Jackson's mom. She says LaKevia went to her best friend's birthday at bowling alley. A fight over a bowling ball happened, then the suspect waited 20 minutes in the parking lot for LaKevia before he shot her while she was leaving. Her mom gave me this pic." Michael Seaton, mentioned earlier, also got a chance to speak to Sharina, posting about it on Twitter. "Just in, I just got off the phone with mother of LaKevia Jackson, 31, who and killed after an argument over a bowling ball. She shared this photo and asked that we remember her daughter as a sweet, kind, and loving person." Speaking of Twitter, of course, people over here have some feelings on the whole situation. With someone as big as Young Thug losing somebody, a lot of people are going to hear about it and be concerned. At the same time, it's important to remember that this woman was a mother, a daughter, and many, many more things to many different people. She isn't just Young Thug's baby mama. One fan said Thug and LaKevia had a 14-year-old son, man. That little boy just lost his mama because some punk ass wanna someone over a bowling ball. A bowling ball. This is just horrible, man. I pray both of them and their family gonna be all right. Rest in peace, LaKevia Jackson. The absurdity of this situation is probably one of the worst parts. Another person on Twitter said, "Black woman was murdered over a bowling ball, and you use your black media platform to refer to her as Young Thug's baby mama? Her name is LaKevia Jackson. Her name matters. Her life matters. Black media must do better." While some of these comments point out just how ridiculous it is that the whole fight happened over a bowling ball, maybe that's because the angle on the whole thing is ridiculous. If you really think about it, how many people you met in your life that would react like that to having someone take their bowling ball? In reality, there could be something more going on. Apparently, LaKevia Jackson was on the phone with her mother as she passed away. She couldn't really tell her what went down and what state she was in, or maybe some details just haven't become public yet. There's one person who thinks they have a real handle on what's going on though. An Atlanta community activist pointed out a few things, claiming that she thinks it's not actually the result of an argument, but a gang dispute. We all know that Atlanta is a hot town for gang activity. That's never been a secret. Some of the biggest labels in the town are well known for their gang affiliations. That being said, not a lot of people know that Young Thug has a bit of history. In fact, YSL has frequently been called a gang by a number of people online. YSL Records is known by a few different names: Young Stoner Life, Young Slime Life, Young Slat Life, but it's just a label, right? Lil Baby, Gunna, Lil Keed have all been members at one point or another. Even Youngboy was on the label at one point. While at first it seems like it's just a label, there's kind of a trend in hip-hop. From groups like YNW to 4KT, a lot of the times these acronyms aren't just something you put in front of your name. It can very often be a way to claim a gang. There's also another gang that's pretty prevalent in the Atlanta area, and you'll probably recognize it just by the acronym alone: YFN. There's also a little fun coincidence here, which is just purely speculation. Migos and Lil Baby have beef, and a lot of people assume that it's just a jealousy thing. That being said, Lil Baby signed to YSL and Migos have done a song with YFN Lucci. Is that just a coincidence? Hard to say. Anyway, YFN is a gang based in Atlanta, and YFN Lucci is the most well-known member in the mainstream. His arrest didn't destroy the gang entirely though. He got locked up for some crazy RICO charges in 2021. The gang is still more or less going strong. Currently, YFN Lucci is being denied bond. That being said, we really have no clue how this one's going to play out. The whole RICO charge situation involved 12 people, and by the end of the proceedings, 108 counts have been laid out. There were plenty of other smaller charges involved, like possession of weapons and use of said weapons and a commission of a felony, but the RICO charges are really the big ones. That means the YFN Lucci, even if he didn't really enact any of the crimes himself, he can get put away essentially for life as a result. People on Twitter definitely have some stuff to say about YFN Lucci going down. Some people are even working with some conspiracy theories they're cooking up. One fan pointed out that a man caused the death of a police officer in February, and this user is trying to connect the dots. This is actually the person who initially mentioned that they think it's gang beef. They said Eppinger is the guy who shot an Atlanta cop 6 times in February when they went to arrest him. 2 days later, YFN Lucci got stabbed in jail, and now Lucci's crew look like they're gonna light people up on the streets, including Thugger's family. It's still unclear if this gang beef actually has anything to do with what went down on March 17th at that bowling alley. But one thing is clear: gang beef frequently ends in tragedy. And regardless of if it was over a bowling ball or some sort of feud, it shouldn't have happened. It's truly unfair. And once again, I gotta say that my heart goes out to the family involved. But what do y'all think about this one though? Was it just some argument that got blown entirely out of proportion? Or is there something a little more sinister going on here? Do YSL and YFN have serious beef that isn't really being talked about publicly? Or is this whole thing just speculation? Let us know what you think down below in the comments. Rest in peace, LaKevia. Oh, make sure you go ahead and peep this next video if you like this one.